All right. Ben Caton with JCI. I'm going to be going over the 4100 ES at WPI Foisey. All right. Basically, it's the same panel you guys have. Quite a few other sites. Interface is the same. You get an alarm. Basically, you get an alarm, trouble, supervisory, whatever condition comes in, it's going to light the light. One of these guys, hit the button underneath it. It'll acknowledge the panel buzzing and also tell you what the problem is. If there's more than one, you can hit it to scroll through, or you can use the next and previous buttons. Alarm silence will kill the horns and strobes in this building. Reset will get the system back to a normal state. Again, it's up to the fire department whether they allow you guys to hit either one of those before they get here. Probably not, but that's up to them and you guys. Same bypasses here as we tried to keep it consistent for the rest of the campus. So you got your city disconnect, which will actually disconnect this building from the radio master box. Just so you guys know, with the radio master boxes, when you hit the city disconnect, it will still send them a signal. Zone 6 on the radio box is set up for city bypass so that they know somebody is here working on it with bypass active. Signal bypass obviously kills all the horns and strobes in the building. Control point bypass will control any door holders, closers, interfaces to your card access system, HVAC shutdown, that kind of thing. Elevator bypass will stop it, so if you're doing any work around the elevator and they needed to test the smokes or anything, it'll stop the elevator from going into fire recall. Slant alert inhibit will stop the buzzer on this panel and the buzzers on the 3 panels in the remote command centers. If you guys are working or you get a trouble that's bouncing in and out, it won't stop any alarms from coming in or anything else, it'll just stop the buzzers. Down here for your audio controls, I know on this one, I don't know where it is, on the remote command centers there's a little cheat sheet on how to use it. Pretty much the buttons are all labeled the same on all of them, so once you got it on one, it's the same on all of them. The all clear message, the testing message, and the testing complete message, all you have to do is press it. It'll fire off the message twice and then turn itself off. Local speaker is if this speaker here, if you were playing multiple channels of audio and you wanted to hear what was playing in the building, you can hit that button and it'll play whatever message is playing over the speakers on this speaker, but where you've got a speaker right there, you're going to hear it anyways. All speaker talk, key it, it'll turn on all your speaker circuits. Key the microphone, you'll hear 2 pings. Keep it keyed the whole time. And once you're ready to talk, it lights up, ready to talk. If you let go of that button, once it comes on, it'll stay on for a couple of seconds and then turn itself back off, and you'll have to key it again. Just don't let go of it or it won't let you get all the way out. And then just hit it a second time and turn it off. If you wanted to talk to just certain floors, same process. You just hit whatever floors you want, pick it up, key it. Once it's ready, it'll come up with the ready to talk light, and you're good to go. Over here, these are strictly indicator lights showing you whether your BDA system's in trouble or your generator is running. I've already talked to Ted about that, and that's something we're going to be bringing up after the fact, because the spec calls for that they want this to create a trouble, but where the city box is doing it, your weekly generator test is going to create problems. So we're going to be doing the networking. We'll probably correct that once the building is officially you guys's and you've got control over it. But for right now, it creates a trouble. Speaking of the troubles, the specs on this panel required this panel to have a resound. So any active conditions like these troubles that are on here right now for the BDA, every 18 hours these will re-ring in as a trouble. Same thing with fires, everything else. If the condition stays on there, it will resound the signals, whatever. But I mean, it's a dorm, so if it's sitting on there for 18 hours, it's something bigger going on anyways. You got your damper and HVAC controls. Basically consider these as turning on or off the air. So you hit the off, it'll shut down the air handler. You turn off any of your dampers, it's going to shut the dampers. These all work by floor. So if an alarm comes in on the 3rd floor, it'll shut the 3rd floor dampers. 4th floor, it'll shut the 4th floor dampers. There are automatic sequences that happen in the building. If you've got an alarm on some of the HVAC equipment, it'll shut multiple floors down. The rooftop unit takes care of basically the messenger part of the building. The one downstairs takes care of the FOISI part. That's why they're kind of set up. This is HVAC AHU1. This is AHU2's controls. If you do manually turn one of these guys on, you'll get an override. You'll get an override trouble, showing that it's no longer an auto. If the system's normal, when you go to put it back, you want to put it back in the state you want it to stay in. So right now this is shutting off all your dampers. So we're going to turn the air back onto that floor, and then you hit automatic. And as long as you got this bottom light, the system's got control of the system, of those dampers. The batteries should all be good for 4 years. I mean, you'll get the normal battery troubles if anything comes up. Actually, none of them are up right now, so I kind of half expected a low battery trouble, but going by the values I saw, these batteries are actually oversized for the building, like quite a bit. So you shouldn't have battery problems. If you get a trouble or an alarm or something that comes in and somebody cleared it before you get back in here to do any kind of service work on it, you can hit the menu button and scroll through, and there's your historical alarm log and trouble log, and then just hit enter. And you can scroll through. If you want to see what just came in, if you hit previous a couple times, so you'd hit the enter and then previous, and that'll be the end of the list. So that's the last thing that you see. And that would have been the dampers that I went into override trouble for. And that's pretty much it. I'd say you could go through the time and date setup, but that's only going to matter for about a week. Once this thing is on the network, the computer at Public Safety is going to be the master timekeeper, and he'll take care of keeping the time on whoever's connected to it. It'll take care of updating the time and date. You can still do it locally, but as soon as it reconnects to that one, it's going to change to whatever time that one says it is. And that's pretty much it. I don't know if you wanted to go over the annunciator. It's basically the same exact setup. You don't have the individual the display is just this part of it. And you do need a key to operate anything from over there. So you can, if you go to those panels, you can scroll through the troubles, but it won't let you acknowledge them without a key. Same thing with the bypass buttons along the side. You can press them, but unless you've got the key activated, it won't let you do anything. And I think that's pretty much it, unless you guys had any questions. You do have, there's 5 panels. You've got the 2 panels here. You've got 1 panel in each of the lobbies. For the most part, they're remote command centers. There's not a lot that comes out of those. I believe the one in the far corner has got a bell and a beacon coming out of it. And I think this one's got a bell and a beacon coming out of it. But that's about it. There's no MapNet coming out of them. There's a couple signal circuits, and that's it. Then also in the 4th floor, the elevator lobby, if you come out, there's an electric room right on that corner. There's a transponder in there. It's a 2-bay cabinet, and that's your other panel. And that's basically feeding the messenger portion of the building. And that's pretty much it, unless you guys had any questions or...
I got one. Is this messenger and voice, is this all treated as one building as far as the fire?
It is, yep. The only thing that's a little separate is the HVAC stuff. It's what it shuts down. But yeah, it's general alarm from top to bottom. Anything trips everything. And as far as the labels are concerned, this will be more important once it gets to the networking part. Just because I'm kind of restricted on a 40-character custom label, everything in the label starts off FOISI. Regardless of whether it's FOISI or messenger, you just have to kind of go off the floor. Just because I was going to lose too many characters spelling out messenger.
Tied in right now with COD access still?
It's tied. It is, but differently. It's the other buildings. It's you've got just the 3 zones going back to them. I'm not 100% sure how they've tied it in.
Well, this is going to eventually go to fiber optic.
Yeah.
Tied in with fiber.
Yeah, and there'll be a computer head end.
Yep.
That you'll be able to see, not just alarm trouble supervisor. You'll see every single point from here.
Okay.
So, all right.